A very good evening to one and all present here. We have gathered here today to commemorate the 248th Jayanti Utsavam of Nadajyoti Muthuswami Dikshitar and celebrate the 80th year of Sri Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya, one of the earliest known institutions in Kolkata imparting Carnatic music. We begin by invoking the gods with our Vidyalaya's prayer song, which will be rendered by the students.
Shriman Vignamadrived Nipuno Shriman Vignamadrived Nipuno Madeva Ramyanan Senali Pranavatato Bhavasuto Vidyanirbharati Shriman Vignamadrived Nipuno Madeva Ramyanan Senani Pranavatato Bhavasuto Vidyanirbharati Shriman Vignamadrived Nipuno Gopalo Varavenugana Rasiko Trishaktito Maruti Devashi Mahati Dadasya Dadadushe Emcee Bhuyamsi Na Gopalo Varavenugana Rasiko Nishaktito Maruti Devashi Mahati Dadasya Dadadushe Emcee Bhuyamsi Na Papada Pamaga Gamagare Gamagare Sanida Sare Gamare Gasare Gama Pama Pada Pasanida Re Sare Gamagare Sanida Pamaga Gamagare Papara Pamaga Gamagare Gamagare Sanida Sare Gamare Gasare Gama Pama Pada Pasanida Re Sare Gamagare Sanida Pamaga Gamagare Shriman Vignamadrived Nipuno
Thank you, students. As you all know, Carnatic music is an integral part of India's musical heritage. This style has produced various great composers through the centuries, but perhaps none are remembered as fondly as the Carnatic music trinity, Sri Tyagaraja, Sri Shama Shastri, and Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar. Of these three jewels of Carnatic music, Nadajyoti Muthuswami Dikshitar was the youngest with over 450 compositions to his name. He mainly composed in Sanskrit and was the most widely traveled. Our school, Sri Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya, was established in Kolkata on 23rd November 1943 by Brahmashri A. Anantakrishna Iyer, who belongs to the direct Shishya Parampara of this great composer, Nadajyoti Muthuswami Dikshitar. Our school has been serving India's cultural capital by propagating Carnatic music and has entered its glorious 80th year. Currently, the school is being headed by Guru A. Srividya, the granddaughter of its founder Brahmashri Anantakrishna Iyer. This is indeed a momentous occasion, and we are celebrating the 248th Jayanti Utsavam with a two-day grand music festival. Therefore, without further ado, I, Anjana Mohandas, Secretary of Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan, student wing of the Vidyalaya, extend a warm welcome to everyone to the second day of this two-day grand music festival here at Uttam Mancha. We had Prava yesterday, where we presented the confluence of Western and Carnatic music with a small skit demonstrating how possibly the violin came into Carnatic music. And we are proud to say that it was a great start to our two-day music program. And I must say that those who could not come yesterday really missed a great event. Today, we bring to you another interesting program, Shankara Guruguham, where the artists of the day will bring out the similarities of two great personalities, Adi Sankaracharya and Muthuswami Dikshitar. The event is being organized by Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan in association with Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Accolade Studios Private Limited, co-powered by State Bank of India and the radio partner being 91.9 Friends FM. The Sammelan, which is an association of the students of our Vidyalaya, was established almost 4 decades ago to provide a platform for students to perform and learn. The Sammelan periodically organizes chamber programs, audio-visual presentations, thematic musical productions, and lecture demonstrations. We shall now begin with today's program. Yesterday, we had a wonderful Emcee to our program, and once again, I shall hand over the proceeding to Venkatraman Subramaniam, who is a media professional for 15 years and works for a spiritual and infotainment channel in Chennai. Welcome, Mr. Venkatraman Subramaniam. Please take over the proceeding.
Vanakkam, Vandanam, Suswagatam, Namaskar, Namaste, and welcome to Sri Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Accolade Studios Private Limited's 248th Dikshidhar Jayanti Utsavam 2023, organized by Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan, co-powered by State Bank of India, radio partner 91.9 Friends FM. Dear all, we started this two-day event with a promise. 248th Dikshidhar Jayanti, 248. Just like the numbers keep doubling, it will be a double bonanza, double the entertainment, double the music. We lived up to that yesterday when we performed Pravah. Today, you're going to witness another beautiful form of music and art coming together. So this is another confluence which you're going to witness today. Before that, it only feels right that we speak a little about Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Accolade Studios Private Limited. Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan was founded by Kulapati K.M. Munshi in 1938 with the blessings of Sri Mahatma Gandhi. Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan is not just an institution, it's a movement, a cause. Since its inception, it has encouraged the study of aspects of Indian culture to help in the reintegration of the latter in the light of modernity. Over the years, it has grown from a modest Indological research institution to a comprehensive apolitical national movement with an international outlook. Multidimensional programs are carried out through 367 institutions under 119 kendras in India and 5 centers abroad. Bhavan steadfastly adheres to the Vedic ideal, let noble thoughts come to us from every side. Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Kolkata Kendra, is a heritage institution dedicated to provide education and instills the noble values of Indian culture since 1984. Kolkata Kendra conducts various cultural activities on a regular basis to promote and preserve Indian culture. Nad, in March every year, a festival of instrumental music and dance. Nritya Gatha in September, a dance drama festival. Folk music and dance festival in the month of November. So you can see how the calendar is. For the past 7 years, Kolkata Kendra and Infosys Foundation Bangalore are conducting various cultural activities, both in performing arts and visual arts, to encourage upcoming artists and promote dying art forms. Kolkata Kendra also runs Kala Kendra to conduct classes in Bharatanatyam, Odissi, Kathak, and various instrumental music at its Salt Lake premise. Presently, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Kolkata Kendra runs two senior secondary schools, one at Salt Lake, Kolkata, and the other at Haldia. One management college at Salt Lake, which are very much renowned for its curricular and co-curricular excellence. Other institutions under Kolkata Kendra are Bhavan's Institute of Computer Education and Information Technology for students of economically backward families, Bhavan's Academy of Sanskrit, Bhavan's Book Sales Division, Bhavan's Sports Academy for football, cricket, basketball, table tennis, and karate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just about one single institution. A huge round of applause for Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Accolade Studios Private Limited is a startup company aimed at production of world-class content, generation of high-quality visual effects, virtual productions, augmented and immersive photorealistic graphics, among other allied activities. The company aspires to become a hub for back-end content factory for many OTT platforms such as Amazon Prime, Disney Hotstar, Hoichoi. In the process, it is looking at generation of an employment of 200 skilled professionals in 2023-24 and 24-25. Founded in 2022 by a Kolkata-based eminent South Indian family and is fronted by Sri K. Gopikrishna. The group COO is Monica Lahiri. The company is based in Sector 5, Salt Lake, Kolkata. Its operations are handled from Media City office. Thank you very much, Accolade Studios Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for them too. So here we are today on the day 2 of this amazing festival. And we would like to start off this ceremony by calling upon stage our dignitaries who are present today to grace this occasion and to honor us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to call upon stage Pandit Ajay Chakraborty. A huge round of applause for Padma Bhushan Pandit Ajay Chakraborty. And he will be escorted on stage by Shri Atul Jairaj. Ajayda, it's an absolute pleasure having you amongst us. Ladies and gentlemen, the legend himself, Padma Bhushan Pandit Ajay Chakraborty. Our second guest for the day, whom we would like to call up on stage, Shri Shankar Lal Mehta. Today, the stage is just going to be filled up with so many dignitaries, I can't tell you, ladies and gentlemen. And I have been given the task of speaking a few words about each of them, and truly by reading each and every line, it only fills my heart with pride and more pride. Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Shankar Lal Mehta is here. Next, we would like to call up on stage our next guest, Shri Konchon Datto. To escort Shri Konchon Datto on stage, we would like to call Shri A. Sadasivam too. Shri Kanchon Datto. Firstly, Padma Bhushan Pandit Ajay Chakraborty. Pandit Ajay Chakraborty is one of the most familiar and noted names in the field of classical music in India today. Although considered a doyen of the Patiala Kasur Gharana, primarily representing Ustad Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Saab's Gaiki, he can equally portray even the most subtle features of the other major classical gharanas of India. This is probably because of his wide exposure to various genres and their maestros and musicologists, besides his own gurus. His father, late Sri Ajit Kumar Chakraborty, Sri Pannalal Samanta, and Sri Kanaidas Baigeri were the ones with whom his initial orientation happened, before he was warmly accepted by Padma Bhushan Pandit Jnana Prakash Ghosh. His training was then continued under Ustad Munawar Ali Khan, son of Ustad Bade Ghulam Ali Khan. Besides that, he had learned from several other maestros like Ustad Latafat Hussain Khan, Pandit Nibrit Piya Sarnaik, Vidushri Hirabai Barodekar in Carnatic styles from Professor M. Balamurli Krishna that kept enriching his musical expression and repertoire. He graduated top of his class in music, both in MA, BA and MA from the prestigious Rabindra Bharati University in Kolkata and joined the ITC Sangeet Research Academy in 1977. Being the Academy's very first outstanding scholar, he became their only gold medalist fellow, a member of their experts committee and a senior guru, where he still serves as a prime mover in all its promotional courses to date. Recipient of as many as 4 prestigious national awards by the President of India, Padma Shri in 2011, Sangeet Natak Academy Award, Delhi, 1999-2000, the Kumar Gandharva Samman National Award, 1993, and Best Male Playback Singer for the Bengali film Chandranir, 1990. He has also received the Maha Sangeet Samman and Banga Vibhushan Samman, 2 of the state's highest awards were also conferred to him. The first Indian classical vocalist to be invited by Pakistan and China and by BBC for their Golden Jubilee celebration of India's independence. Pandit Ajay Chakraborty has performed innumerable concerts and is perhaps the busiest classical vocalist of his generation today. He regularly, annually participates in all the major prestigious music conferences and festivals all over India and abroad. He has performed in some of the most prestigious venues across the world, like Carnegie Hall, the Kennedy Center, New Orleans Jazz Preservation Hall in the US, just to name a few, including being the recipient of the Golden Key to the city of New Orleans. The Royal Albert Hall, the Queen Elizabeth Hall in the UK, it just goes on and on. Pandit Ajay Chakraborty has more than 100 albums to his credit, published from India, US, UK, Holland, and Germany that feature pure classical and light classical numbers, including thumris, dadras, bhajans, and other types of devotional songs. He has also numerous recordings of Shama Sangeet, Rabindra Sangeet, Nazrul Geeti, Rag Pradhan that are widely popular. It's tough to encompass the life and history of such a legend in just one page, but this is what we've been able to do, and it truly doesn't do justice to the legend that he is. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Padma Bhushan Pandit Ajay Chakraborty. Ajay-da, it'll be our honor to listen to a few words from you. Please, we would like to invite you onto the stage.
Namaskar. A long introduction was read for me, and I am feeling very embarrassed. I am nothing. I always wanted to be a student, and till day I am a sincere student of music, that's all. And my namaskar to all the dignitaries on stage and musicians in front of me of Guruguha Vidyalaya. And what can I say for Muthuswami Dikshitarji? As soon as I take the name, the song comes, Vatapi Ganapati Bhajeham. Nobody can deny that almost 85% of concerts of Carnatic music starts with that song, all over the world. I am really honored, and I pray to Almighty that very soon the centenary celebration will happen for this organization. In my belief, music is not a subject to learn. Music is a part of our existence because when we inhale air, the air gives oxygen to our brain, and when we exhale the air, it produces music. So life and music are same. So without music, life cannot be there. Anything you do with love, respect, belief, and surrender, it makes music. I'm very sorry to say, this importance of music learning is not very commonly understood by our politicians all over the country. I have talked to Manmohan ji, I have talked to Narendra Modi ji so many times to bring music as a compulsory subject in all the schools, at least from class 5, when they understand that music makes our inner vision more clear. If I say, re no, note-wise, Carnatic music is ahead of North Indian music, note-wise. But the detailing of notes, ga re, no. So this vision, ta no, if we can start exercising our humanity, our values, our respect for others will be much more developed. So through music, we should understand the real value of India and the contribution of India, which is much ahead of our spiritualism. Because music and spiritualism are same. Music is ahead of spiritualism even. किसी को हम पैर छूते हैं, क्यों छूते हैं? उनका ज्ञान हमारे अंदर आ जाए, चाहे वो छोटा हो, चाहे वो बड़े हो. बहुत लोगों के पास बहुत ज्ञान है जो मेरे पास शायद नहीं है. ये एटीट्यूड of respect made our country the richest country in the world, but we have started forgetting that. Now the time has come, हमें संगीत को बहुत अच्छी तरह समझ के, देख के, music is not a subject to produce by producing the sound only. By producing the inner vision, you can develop your humanity. I can develop my personal attitudes. I have seen that, I have experienced that. For last 67 years I am learning. Maybe you all know my Guruji Guru Gyan Prakash Ghosh, and the second person's name is Mr. Vijay Kichlu, who contributed a lot for the city, for this city through ITC Sangeet Research Academy. And after ITC Sangeet Research Academy, I started thinking that a children's school should be there, where the children we should catch them young and start from a very early age. Initially, he was not willing to do that. Mr. Kichlu Sahab, he was like my father. He never allowed me, no, अब तुम्हारा गाना खराब हो जाएगा, तुम इस तरह मत करो. मगर मैं ज़बरदस्ती इसको किया. संगीत रिसर्च एकेडमी का जो क्वालिटीज़ है, अच्छा बुरा दोनों का, केवल अच्छा नहीं, जो हमें अच्छा नहीं लगा उसको मैं एलिमिनेट किया करके उनकी हाथ से ही मैं इसका इनॉग्रेशन किया था. तो ये दोनों आदमी कलकत्ता में जो कंट्रीब्यूट किया पूरी भारत के लिए, इट्स रियली एग्जाम्पलरी. आज आप सब आशीर्वाद करिए हमारे गुरुगुह विद्यालय, गुरुगुह गुरुगुह शब्द वातापि गणपति भजे हम में है, गुरुगुह तोषित बिंबम. So, with a pranam mantra of Guru, I will conclude and I will pray to Almighty. And I know that today's program will be a fantastic program, and we will be able to understand so many things which is added to normal training, which is necessary in today's perspective. It's very important that we should understand that by which kind of fusion, how we can do fusion by maintaining the tradition intact. This is very important. And fusion doesn't mean that we'll have to go to New Orleans or we'll have to go to United States. In our music is the best example of fusion, because violin player is there, Mridangam player is there, Kanjira player is there, Ghatam player is there. ये सब मिल के जो होता है वही फ्यूशन म्यूजिक है. उसको अच्छी तरह समझना, अच्छी तरह उसका रस लेना चाहिए. मैं हमेशा छात्र के रूप में था, आज भी मैं सीख रहा हूँ. हमारे स्कूल में श्रुति नंदन में इस साल सिल्वर जुबली हो रहा है, इसीलिए वहाँ रिहर्सल चल रहा है. मैं बीच में छोड़ के आया क्योंकि इतना प्यार से मुझे बुलाया गया. I was melted and I am really grateful that you have invited me. I could come. My voice is not working, but still I will chant on Guru Pranam. Then I will take leave. Please excuse me for that. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurudeva Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. सबको मेरा प्रणाम. सब प्रणाम स्वीकार कीजिए और अपने अपने गुरु को स्मरण कीजिए एंड एंजॉय द प्रोग्राम. थैंक यू. नमस्कार.
थैंक यू वेरी मच अजय जी. आपने कहा कि हमें अच्छे से रस लेना चाहिए. एंड ट्रूली इंडीड ऑल ऑफ अस प्रेजेंट इन द ऑडिटोरियम आर ब्लेस्ड कि हम आज रस ले पाए ऑफ योर वर्ड्स ऑफ विजडम एंड ऑफ योर ब्यूटिफुल म्यूजिक. थैंक यू वेरी मच. To felicitate Padma Bhushan Ajay Chakraborty ji, I would like to call upon the President of Guruguha Gana Sammelan, Shri Atul Jairaj ji. It's the least that we can do, sir. Thank you, Ajay ji, and thank you, Shri Atul Jairaj. President of Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan. Next, I'd like to speak about Sri Shankarlal Mehta ji. Sri Shankarlal Mehta ji, born in Varanasi and a graduate in earth science from BHU, Sri Mehta's interests are influenced by the rich cultural and literary scholarship, as well as his association with prominent scholars of the ancient city. Mr. Mehta has studied, written, and spoken on various subjects like geoscience, history, as well as literature, culture, and music. Additionally, he also composes kavyas in Sanskrit, Hindi, Braj Bhasha, as well as a fusion of these languages. He has made special efforts to introduce these compositions of his to resonate with Rabindric kavyas. His scripts have been used to conceptualize recitals in classical Indian dance forms, especially Odissi and Kathak. Ladies and gentlemen, Sri Shankarlal Mehta. So it will be our honor to please, we would like to listen to a few words. Please, a huge round of applause.
It's a big vidambana that after Panditji, what do I have to say? He has put the entire ocean in an urn, in a ghatam. Now we have to enjoy the water of that ghatam and feel inspired with his words. Anyway, when I am invited to speak with my pranam to him, I would like to start with an invocation of a very, very pious shloka coming in my mind, a name in which relates to the great Guru of Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya, who is a magic magnet to all her students, and because of whom, even if they have not a building, they don't have a cultural center, they don't have any pomp and show, within the house, an institution as old as nearing a decade is running only on the charm of that lady. And there I would say, Shri Vidyam, Shantamurtim, Sakala Suranutam, Sarva Sampat Pradatri, Sindura Aruna Vigraham Trinayanam, Manikya Maulispurat, Taranayaka Shekharam, Smitabukhi, Mapina Bakshoruham, Panibhyamala Purna Ratna Chashakam, Raktotpalam Bibhratim, Saumya Ratna Ghatastha Rakta Charanam, Dhyayat Paramandika. In her musical personality, I invoke the holiest personality of the great saint, great philosopher, great composer, Muthuswami Dikshitar, to whom we consider as a replica of Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy. And let me tell you, I mean, those who are not conversant with Sanskrit, his compositions in Sanskrit are very simple. Sarva Grahya. Especially in Bengal, where Bengali is, I normally say, put a lot of sugar in Sanskrit and it becomes Bengali. For person speaking Bengali, if they ponder upon the compositions, their catch will be so fast. And at this stage, when two giant acharyas and acharyas are here, I would like to, a thought has come in my mind that why not have, like we have Purva Kalyani, let us have Purva Dakshinayini. Let us compose a rag between you and Sri Vidyaji, a stream of south and east developing as Purva Dakshinayani. Dakshinayani is Kali herself and Purva is Mahalakshmi. Both are Adi Shakti. Combine the two, bring something new, it will be a joy to everybody. Beyond this, I don't have any words to say. I heartily thank Pandit Padma Bhushan Pandit Ajay Chakravarti ji that I got a chance to be with him here after a long time, and he embraced me as much as he used to when we had met earlier. So I thank Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya to giving me this opportunity, and I wish all the best And I also wish a very, very successful event of 25 years at Shrutinandan, for which we are always there to extend any cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sanskrit में शक्कर मिला तो बांग्ला बन गया. That's such a beautiful observation. Today I got to know that. Thank you. To honor Sri Shankarlal Mehta, we would like to request Sri A. Sadasivam, former president of Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan, who has been the he has been the president since its inception for 38 plus years. So a huge round of applause for both the gentlemen on stage. Thank you very much. Next we have on dais Sri Konchon Datta, the founder and CEO of Inner Circle Advertising, co-founder at Inner Circle Films and President Advertising Calcutta. Sri Datta comes with over 25 years of experience in brand communication and advertising through his work with leading agencies like DDB Mudra, Grey Worldwide, Ogilvy and Mather, Saatchi and Saatchi, among others. Today, his company, brainchild and work of love, Inner Circle Advertising, boasts of a portfolio of over 20 leading brands, with Inner Circle Films specializing in brand, corporate, and 3D films. Also in his kitty are audio productions and feature films, which have gone on to win Filmfare and GMA nominations. An avid traveler, amateur astronomy enthusiast, as well as tennis and salsa, he is currently president of the Advertising Club Calcutta. He is also an enthusiastic and keen student of philosophy and Rabindranath Tagore, and is constantly in search of the next creative high. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Sri Konchon Datta. Sir, a few words, please. Thank you.
Namaskaram, Hari Om, Vanakkam. I am truly flummoxed and I'm completely at the loss of words having been invited here. But I completely feel that I'm not deserving of this. But then on my way here today, I had a meeting to attend and was coming and I said, what am I going to say? Ojada is here. I know him through a very dear friend of mine, Vikram Ghosh. I know a lot about him, and Shankarlalji is here. So I was just wondering, and then I realized that, well, not everything that manifests in this life is because of your Purushartha. Some of it is because of your Prarabdha. So what is manifesting today, I'm sure is part of Prarabdha. Well, I have to respect my Prarabdha too. Well, I only have to say that, I thank Sri Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya and Sri Vidyaji, Guru Sri Vidyaji, and for the incredible work that they are doing, she's doing. And I also thank Gayatri for, introducing me to this wonderful organization. I am amazed that it's 80 years and Carnatic Classical for 80 years thriving, doing so much in this part of the world. It's really, actually goes on to prove that there is one thing in this universe that is timeless, it is music. And all I can say is that when in my few classes in Chinmay Mission, when we used to say Nada Brahma, I think that is so true. I think the first embodiment of the manifestation is Nada, and that's how music is always something that energizes us and, uplifts our mood and makes us feel more inward. I won't take too much. I would just like to end with a beautiful thought from Tagore, because there's something that all Bengalis, I think, we gravitate to him. And he had this truly beautiful thought on music. And with all like to reflect on what he said, and it was so incredibly true. I'm going to read this. He once said that music binds the singer while liberating the audience. Oh my God, what a beautiful thought. And then you reflect on it, you say, yes, of course, how incredibly true this thought is. This perspective that those who create the surah actually bind the anadi into a form. And those who listen to it, it becomes a journey into liberation for them. So it's happening at the same time, and this is how Tagore reflects on music. And so therefore, from the form to the formless, and from the bound to the infinite. With that, I would like to wish the Vidyalaya a fantastic future. I wish you have a wonderful centenary. And if there's something that we can do to help you in your journey from the advertising club or from Inner Circle, I'll be happy to be there. Thank you so much.
Truly creative thoughts from a creative mind. Expansion and contraction at the same time. Music binds the singer while liberating the audience. Hats off. Thank you very much. To honor Sri Kanchan Datto, we would like to request Sri Atul Jairaj, President of GSS. Sri Kanchan Datto. On behalf of Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya, we would like to thank all the dignitaries who are present on stage. We would request you to kindly take your seats in the auditorium and please enjoy the program. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the curtains are coming down for just a few moments while we rearrange the stage. What's going to follow is nothing but pure entertainment for all of you. Kindly stay tuned. We are coming back in just a few moments. What's it about? Well, I guess the name speaks for itself. Shankara Guruguham. A unique performance, a mix of art forms by Vivek Sadasivam and Vinay Varanasi, accompanied by Vaibhav, Ramani and Adamya Ramanand. They are hoping to charm the audience with melody, storytelling and visual art as they bring out the similarities of two great personalities born across different timelines, Jagadguru Sri Shankaracharya and Muthuswami Dikshidhar. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take this time to also felicitate a few more people. Firstly, we would like to felicitate Pandit Debashish Bhattacharya, slide guitar maestro and creator of Pushpak Veena. The President of GSS, Sri Atul Jairaj, will felicitate Pandit Debashish Bhattacharya. Radhakrishnan, talented singer and student of the Vidyalaya and founder member of Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan, we would like to thank him for his exemplary service and constant encouragement. The President of GSS, Sri Atul Jairaj, will felicitate Sri A. Radhakrishnan. Sri S. Ranganathan, talented violinist and student of the Vidyalaya and founder member of Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan. We would like to thank him too for his exemplary service and constant encouragement. Sri Atul Jairaj felicitates Sri S. Ranganathan. Srimati Kamakshi Krishnamurthy and Sri K.S. Krishnamurthy, our dear KSK Mama and Mami, constant companions, and Sri K.S. Krishnamurthy, who was also the ex-treasurer of Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan. Sri Atul Jairaj, President of GSS, would felicitate our dear KSK Mama and Mami. Okay. We would like to thank Sri Ganesh Krishnamurthy, Director of PwC, for his support in the noble cause of propagation of arts. On his behalf, we would like to felicitate his mother, Srimati Shyamala Krishnamurthy. Shri Atul Jairaj will felicitate Srimati Shyamala Krishnamurthy. Srimati Shilpi Ravi, a journalist by profession and someone enthusiastic in the promotion of arts and a constant source of encouragement. Srimati Shilpi Ravi has facilitated our meetings with different dignitaries. The Vidyalaya would like to thank and honor Srimati Shilpi Ravi. The President of GSS, Shri Atul Jairaj, will honor Srimati Shilpi Ravi. We would like to thank Chairman Rishabh Surolia and Secretary Jugal Kishore Rathi of Him Kishore Vikas Foundation Trust. Shri Anup Nair, Officer on Special Duty for Governor of West Bengal. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause, please. Huge thanks to Shri S.V. Raman.
While the stage is set for today's concert, I would like to take this opportunity to convey my vote of thanks so that you can all go back home with music still reverberating in your ears. It's quite a long one, so please bear with me. First of all, I would like to thank our principal, Guru A. Sri Vidya, for being a catalyst, inspiring us to do our best and standing as a pillar for each other. With a deep sense of appreciation, I would like to thank Mr. G.V. Subramaniam, Director of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, for his unstinted support right from the initial stage of planning this program till the end. I'm sure his support and guidance will continue forever and be our strength in our future endeavors. I take this opportunity to thank our title sponsors, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Accolade Studios Private Limited, and our platinum sponsor, State Bank of India, for supporting us and making this event a grand success. I cannot thank Mr. Jimmy Tangri enough, station head of 91.9 Friends FM, for accepting to advertise this event and be our radio partner. A big thank you to all the chief guests and the guests of honor who presided at the event today and yesterday. Padma Bhushan Pandit Ajay Chakraborty, Sri Shankarlal Mehta, Shri Kanchan Datta, and the others who had presided yesterday for gracing the occasion despite their busy schedule. Thanks to Shri Jyotishko Das Gupta and Chaitali ma'am for bringing the Calcutta Chamber Orchestra of the Calcutta School of Music and making this confluence of Western and Carnatic music possible. And we are grateful to Shri Raju Raman for putting in great effort and facilitating the whole process. Special thanks to Srimati Shilpi Ravi for her encouragement and for facilitating our meetings with different guests and patrons. An event becomes an event because of its artists. Many thanks once again to all the artists who performed yesterday, and a special thanks to today's artists Sri Vivek Sadasivam, Sri Vinay Varanasi, Sri Vaibhav Ramani, Sri Adamya Ramanand, and Sri Achyut Behra for accepting our invitation and being with us today as part of the 80th year celebration. My heartfelt gratitude to Sri T.N. Champak for directing such a magnificent skit yesterday, and his wife Srimati Shantala Champak for hosting us during all our practice sessions at their house. We generally do not thank our students. After all, it's the duty of all students to be fully engaged in Vidyalaya's activities. However, this time, I want to specially thank them for heartily taking up different tasks for the Vidyalaya. I would like to express my thanks to Disha Pandit, Anush, Kushaj, and Aparna, who worked as a team for the quick handling of props during the skit yesterday. They need a big round of applause for being quick learners too. My heartfelt gratitude to Sri Udit Saptarshi for being the backbone of the entire program and helping us to do all the required recording and mixing. Thanks to Mintuda and the housekeeping staff at Uttam Mancha for making this hall available and being so supportive. Our heartfelt gratitude to Badal Da and his team who have been so supportive. They have handled the stage, light, and sound systems and have been here for the rehearsals too. I would like to give a small token of appreciation to Badal Da for setting the stage wonderfully on both the days. We would also like to appreciate Sri Rono for always helping us during the recording sessions at Spandan. Thanks to Sri Rao and Rakesh for providing us with the prasadam on both the days. Thanks to Ranjit, Sanjana, Sai Kripa, Samyukta, Ranjana, Amrita, Sweetie Sabu, and her family for handling the hospitality. I would also like to thank Sweetie for generously providing us lovely uttariyas to honor the guests, and her friend Sakshi for the gift hampers. A special mention needs to be made for Gayatri Krishnamurthy, Brinda Radhakrishnan, and V. Akshaya for those lovely backdrop photos and timely handling of lights, audios, and videos during the entire concert yesterday. And thanks to Kavita S. and Bhanumati Rajaram for their constant support. A big thank you to the entire executive committee of the Sammelan. Thank you is the least that I can say to you all, to show my appreciation for everything you have all done for making this huge event possible and for making my burden lighter. I couldn't have imagined such a great event if not for you all. You have all been my pillars of support, and without you all this event wouldn't have been possible. A big thanks to the Kolam team comprising of Rupa Sriram, Rama Rajashekar, Lakshmi Sundar, and Lata Ramesh, headed by Bhanumati Rajaram, for those lovely decorations at the reception on both the days. My heartfelt gratitude to each and every parent who, along with the students, have worked really hard, with a special thanks to Sri Ramesh, Srimati and Sri Balakumar, Srimati Jayashri, who have always helped in every possible way. My heartfelt gratitude to each and every special invitee and guest who were here on both the days. Last but not the least, my sincere gratitude goes out to all the parents, patrons, and well-wishers for being a rock-solid support system and encouragement. How can I miss Sri Venkatraman Subramaniam in my vote of thanks? He was not only a great MC for the last 2 days, but also proved to be a great scriptwriter too in our yesterday's skit. Thank you for being with us despite your busy schedule. And I apologize if I had left anyone's name in my vote of thanks. It was unintentional. With this, let us go back to today's concert. Thank you.
Well, the vote of thanks would be incomplete if we don't mention the person who thanked everyone. Honorary Secretary Anjana Mohandas, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we missed out on one single name who we'd like to felicitate now. Shri Atul Jairaj will felicitate Srimati Meena Banerjee, who is a musicologist and an eminent journalist. Srimati Meena Banerjee. A huge round of applause, please. And so, what you see on stage is today's team of Shankara Guruguham. A huge round of applause for all the artists on stage. Sri Vivek Sadasivam. Sri Vivek Sadasivam is a Carnatic singer hailing from the direct Shishya Parampara of Nadajoti Muthuswami Dikshitar. His initial training into Carnatic music came from his grandfather, Sri A. Anantaraman Iyer, and grand aunt A. Champakavalli. His training continued under his father, Vidwan A. Sadashivam, and for the last 20 years, he has been under the tutelage of Vidwan Rudrapattam Tyagarajan. In addition, he has been under the able guidance of Vidwan Sanjay Subramaniam and Dr. L. Subramaniam. An A-grade artist of the All India Radio and Doordarshan and empaneled artist of ICCR, Vivek has been the recipient of several prestigious awards and honors, including Dr. M.S. Subalakshmi Fellowship Award from Shanmukhananda Fine Arts, Mumbai, Best Pallavi Singing, Best Individual Performance and Best Concert Awards from the Music Academy, Madras. The title, Pratibha Kankshi from Sri Ramaseva Mandali, Bangalore. He is widely performed in India and abroad, including representing the country at the World Youth Festival in Russia. Vivek has collaborated with Vinay Varanasi through unique educational projects that aim at preserving and propagating various facets of Indian culture through mediums of storytelling, music, and art. Topics they have worked on include Prananjaya, Shivoham, Dhatri, Parva, Sri Ramasundari, and concepts like elements of nature and wedding rituals. Vivek also works as creative director at the Subramaniam Academy of Performing Arts, SAPA, in an attempt to take music to children in schools across India. Ladies and gentlemen, Vivek Sadashivam. To honor Sri Vivek Sadashivam, we would like to invite Mr. Santosh Jairam, a very senior student of the Vidyalaya. And now, Sri Vinay Varanasi. Vinay Varanasi is a speaker and curator and draws inspiration from various Indic traditions and texts. He has spoken on various subjects ranging from the Ramayana and Mahabharata to various forms of Devi, etc. Along with musicians, he has conceptualized thematic productions focusing on the intersection of music and spirituality. He's worked with musicians such as Ramakrishnan Murthy, Vivek Sadashivam, Somesh Narayanan, among others. Vinay is a lyricist by passion and writes Pallavi lyrics, tuned and rendered by musicians such as Vidushis, Ranjani, and Gayatri. He has co-translated the Kritis of Yogi Narayana of Kaivara. Vinay's fascination for watercolors makes him explore Puranic and musical ideas through paintings. An architect by training, Vinay is the founder of Unbind, a design education startup that serves two major purposes: bridging the gap between design, education, and practice, and creating social impact through design. Shri Santosh Jairam will felicitate Shri Vinay Varanasi. On the violin, Sri Vaibhav Ramani. Sri Vaibhav Ramani, a young violinist from Bengaluru, is a student of Vidwan Sri R. Kumaresh of Ganesh Kumaresh fame. He is a B high grade artist of All India Radio Bengaluru. Vaibhav has been performing widely as a solo violinist and accompanist in major cities of South India and has accompanied many prominent stalwarts of Carnatic music, including Vidwan Abhishek Raghuram, Dr. Jayanti Kubresh, Dr. Ranganatha Sharma, among others. He has also had the opportunity to perform internationally at prominent venues in Uganda and Canada. Vaibhav has been the recipient of numerous awards. He also released his first album titled Hamsanadam, a tribute to his guru, Vidwan Patri Satish Kumar and Vidwan Giridhar Udupa, which have been well received. Ladies and gentlemen, Vaibhav Ramani. To felicitate him, we would like to call upon stage Sri Santosh Jairam. On the Mridangam, we have Adamya Ramanand. Adamya has had his initial training under Vidwan M.A. Krishnamurthy and has been under the guidance of the legend Padma Bhushan Umayalpuram K. Shivaraman since 2005. He is an A-grade artist of All India Radio since 2013 and has been performing regularly in classical music circuit. He has also been collaborating with artists of different genres. He is a recipient of the first prize in All India Radio Annual Music Competition in 2003 and several accolades including CMA Award from the Percussive Arts Center, Ragalaya Prabha from Ramalalita Kala Mandira, Ananya Yuva Pushkara, just to name a few. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause to Adamya Ramanand. Sri Santosh Jairam will honor him. Santoshji, we would like to call you once again, this time to felicitate the Tanpura artist, Sri Achyut Behra. Ladies and gentlemen, now we'll move on to the performance. Thank you very much. You've been a very patient audience. And here's Shankara Guruguham.
Just a request, if we can have a little light on the audience, so we know if they're laughing at my jokes or not.
शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतं वन्दे भगवन्तं पुनः पुनः सूत्रभाष्यकृतं सदाशिवसमाश्रितं वन्दे भगवन्तं पुनः पुनः भूतात्मक प्रपञ्चोदयादिकरण पञ्चभूतात्मक प्रपञ्चोदयादिकरण पञ्चभूतात्मक प्रपञ्चोदयादिकरण प्रपञ्चोदयादिकरण विरिञ्चि हरिरुद्रनुतेन पञ्चवक्त्र शिवसुतेन पञ्चमातङ्ग मुखगणपतिना विरिञ्चि हरिरुद्रनुतेन पञ्चवक्त्र शिवसुतेन पञ्चमातङ्ग मुखगणपतिना परिपालितोऽहं सुमुखेन श्रीपञ्चमातङ्गमुखगणपतिना परिपालितोऽहं सुमुखेन श्रीपञ्चमातङ्गमुखगणपतिना
Adi Shankaracharya and Muthuswami Dikshitar, two extraordinary beings who have lived and walked across Bharatavarsha and have left us with so many gems, whether you take their compositions, whether you take their thoughts, or whether you take the places that they visited. And we find it extremely beautiful and also divine design that this is the program that gets curated today, because if you look at today's date, which is 9th April, it is exactly 2 weeks after Muthuswami Dikshitar's Jayanti, and it is exactly 2 weeks before Adi Shankara Jayanti. So in this beautiful Sangamam today, we are so thrilled and honored to be presenting something called Shankara Guruguham, which aims to shed light on a very, very rarely explored area, the influence of Adi Shankaracharya on Muthuswami Dikshitar. And placing our immense gratitude to Sri Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya for having us, Also just taking a moment to recall that this exact team came together, I think 3.5 odd years ago, for the very first time, also by Sri Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya in the Bangalore chapter. And from then to now, we have been so fortunate to explore various themes. And it is but fitting that we periodically pay tribute to the Nada Jyoti that has inspired not just music, but so much of our spiritual approach. So if you take the idea of Shankaracharya's influence on Muthuswami Dikshitar, it can actually become a research paper, and I was very worried it would take that direction. So I deliberately kept out certain angles that are very, very technical. For example, the Shuddha Advaita that Adi Shankaracharya speaks about, how Muthuswami Dikshitar talks about that in many of his kritis. All of these require a very, very deep understanding, but the objective was to take us on a collective journey. So instead of focusing on the more academic areas, we have today put together a series of anecdotes, a series of stories, a series of ways in which you can yourself experience, oh, look at what Shankaracharya said, look at what Muthuswami Dikshitar said. So we leave those explosions to happen in your own mind. But we start off, as you would have noticed, with a small wordplay, because Vaibhav began with the Ganesha Pancharatnam, Mudakarartha Modakam, and immediately that led into Panchamatanga Mukha Ganapati. So Ganesha Pancharatnam, Panchamatangam. That wordplay of 5. This is also the evening of Sankashtahara Chaturthi. So from the part of the country that we come from, it's a big evening. So we felt that it was a fitting tribute to pay to Ganapati as we began. From there, if we look at these two beings, Adi Shankaracharya and Muthuswami Dikshitar, they both had phenomenal influences on them in terms of their own gurus. But what is amazing about them is the way that they perceived the guru. The idea of a guru in Sanatana Dharma is not just about an external being. It is about an internal force that guides and moves that being through all their life journey. And if you look at Adi Shankaracharya, in 32 odd years of age, for him to have traversed across from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, to have set up 4 Peethams, what kind of internal inspiration did Jagat Guru receive from Adi Guru Dakshinamurti? That is why you see in the case of Adi Shankaracharya, he leaves us with such a phenomenal work on the Dakshinamurti called the Dakshinamurti Stavam, which is a treatise on Advaita Vedanta but extols the Guru in all his glory. In the case of Muthuswami Dikshitar, we see his fondness for Dakshinamurti coming out in 2 very evident compositions, and both these compositions are loaded with secrets from Adi Shankaracharya. What are these secrets? What is the fascination for Dakshinamurti? We'll take one small example. We see the entire Dhyanam in the 10 verses of the Dakshinamurti Stavam written by Adi Shankaracharya and the verses leading up to them. Shankaracharya says, there is such a strange sight that I am seeing. Chitram Vatataror Mule. There is a chitram, a very strange sight. At the base of a banyan tree, Vatataror Mule, Vriddha Shishyaha, there are old students. And the Guru? Vriddha Shishyaha Gurur Yuva. The Guru is young. And how is this Guru answering those students with all their doubts? Vriddha Shishyaha Gurur Yuva, Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam. The Guru is answering everything through silence. And the Shishyastu Chinna Samshayaha. Just by that silence, all the doubts of these people are beautifully addressed. So this is the Dhyanamurti of Dakshinamurti, that he is seated under a banyan tree, a golden banyan tree, and Muthuswami Dikshitar says exactly this. He says, Akshaya Suvarna Vatavriksha Mula Sthite. To the one who is present at the base of the banyan tree, which is the representation of the universe itself, I bow down. So we bow down today to that Dakshinamurti before we begin this yatra with Adi Shankaracharya and Muthuswami Dikshitar holding our hands on both sides.
Dakshinamurte Dakshinamurte Sri Dakshinamurte Sri Dakshinamurte Sri Dakshinamurte Sri Dakshinamurte Sri Dakshinamurte Vidalita dasarte Sri Dakshinamurte Vidalita dasarte Chidanandamurte Sadamuna Kirti Sri Akshaya Suvarnavadavrksha Mulasthite Akshaya Suvarnavadavrksha Mulasthite Rakshamam Sanakadi Rakshamam Sanakadi Rajayogi Stude Rakshamam Sanakadi Rajayogi Stude Rakshita Sadbhakte Shikshita Duryukte Rakshita Sadbhakte Shikshita Duryukte Aksharanuragte Avidya Virakte Rakshita Shikshita Duryukte Aksharanuragte Avidya Virakte Dakshinamurte Vidalita dasarte Chidanandamurte Sada Mona Kirti Magama Pamama Pamagari Sri Gama Pada Bama Pama Da Baba Maga Gari Sri Dakshina sa ba ma ga ga re Sri Dakshina Murte. Ma da ba ba ma ga ga ma da ba ma ga ba ma ga ri re ga ba ma ga ri sa sa ni sa re ga ba ma ga ga ri re Sri Dakshina ma ba da ba ma ga ma ba da ba ma ba da ni sa ba da ni sa ba ma ga ri Sri Dakshina. Ba ba ma ga ma ba da ni sa ri sa ni ga ma ga ri sa ni da ba ma ba da ni sa da ni sa ga ri sa ni da ni sa ri sa ni da ba ma Sri Dakshina. Gama gama gari zani zari gama ganga gaga 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 maga bama maga gari zani re saga gari mama gari re zani zari gama bari zani saba ma baga mari gaza zada da bama gama bada da bama bada da bama bada baba maga ma baba ni dani ba zani da baba ma bada da bama bada da bama gama bada ni baba dani ba da ni za da 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 ni sa ri ri sa ni ga ma ga ri sa ni ma ma ga ga ri sa da ni da ri da ba ma ga ma ba da ni sa ri ga ma ga ri sa ni da ba da ni sa ga ri sa ni ga ri sa ni da ni sa ni da ba da ni sa ni da ba ma ga ma ba da ni sa ga ma ba da ba ma ba da ni da ba da ni sa ni ga ri sa ni Magari Sri Dakshina Murte.
Dakshinamurti, the Adi Guru, who is an inspiration to both Muthuswami Dikshithar and Shankaracharya, inspires them in a place not very far from here, where you all are. In Kashi Kshetram, if you see the Vishwanatha Jyotirlingam, Vishwanatha is seated in the north, facing the south. This is considered to be a Jnana Jyotirlingam. Amongst the Jyotirlingam, this has a very exalted status because it is considered to be Dakshinamurti Swarupam. Shankaracharya takes a very special fondness for Kashi, and when he comes here, he gets so lost in this Kshetram that he sings about Vishwanatha, he sings about Vishalakshi, all of which we will see. But we stop to see how he speaks about a river, the same river that flows through this Kshetram, Ganga. And Adi Shankara says, Tribhuvana Janani Vyapini Jnana Ganga, that flow of knowledge, that is Ganga within, because he sees the Ganga outside and he realizes this is the Ganga inside. Muthuswami Dikshithar as well has some beautiful experiences with Ganga. When he comes to Kashi with his guru, Chidambara Yogi, he spends many years here and he gets initiated into Sri Vidya by Chidambara Yogi. And at some point, after his initiation and his regular practice of mantra, Muthuswami Dikshithar wonders, has my mantra attained Siddhi? Now this is a very common and a very normal question for anybody who is initiated into a practice, to be able to know if that mantra is bearing fruit. So he goes to his guru and he asks him, has my mantra attained Siddhi? So Chidambara Yogi smiles and he says, go and bathe in the Ganga, you will find your answer. So Muthuswami Dikshithar immediately agrees, steps into the Ganga, and when he goes down doing a namaskaram, when he plunges into the Ganga. When he steps out with the veena in his hands, as many of you know. And one of the specialities of that veena is the Yali Mukham, which is typically turned down for the veena. That Yali Mukham is turned upward. It is to be inferred that this is an indication that Muthuswami Dikshita's Kundalini is on the rise, and this is a Siddha Purusha himself. That is how he knows that his mantra has truly attained fruit. So he comes out. This is a very special veena, which can still, I think it is on exhibition in Madurai, if I'm not wrong. And he comes out to this veena. He comes to his guru, and he asks him, he says, look at what I received from Ganga. And his guru says, Ganga has blessed you. Now take this as a sign and go down south. So Muthuswami Dikshita says, where? He says, go down to Tirutani and begin your compositions over there. He doesn't really talk about compositions. He says, go there and have Subramania Darshanam. Dikshita doesn't want to leave because his guru is here. So he says, will you come with me? So Chidambara Yogi says, no, I will not. I have to stay back here. So Dikshita says, then I will also stay back with you. He says, no, you need to go because if you do not go today, I cannot go tomorrow. What he means by this is that very evening Muthuswami Dikshita proceeds all the way to come to Tirutani in Tamil Nadu. The next day Chidambara Yogi attains Samadhi. He was a Mahapurusha who knew when he was going to merge into Paramatma. In Kashi till date, for those of you who are interested, you can see the Samadhi of Chidambara Yogi, where Muthuswami Dikshita himself used to sit with his guru. The speciality of this kshetram is there is a lingam on his Samadhi. That lingam has a Sri Chakram on it. That is the same Sri Chakram, or that is the same place where Muthuswami Dikshita was initiated into Sri Chakra Aradhana. And when we look at stories like this, it is easy to disconnect them. It is because they happen in very different timelines. Shankara's influence by Ganga and Dikshita's, Ganga's blessing on Dikshita. But all of this happens with Ganga as a Sakshi. And when Shankaracharya talks about Ganga, it's an overflow of love. So we take 2 verses from his immortal Gangashtakam and we flow that into Gange Mampahi, an immortal composition of Muthuswami Dikshita. You yourself will see the shift and how the words used by Shankara start to appear in Dikshita's Kriti.
रोगं शोकं तापं पापं रोगं शोकं तापं पापं हर मे भगवति कुमतिकलापं रोगं शोकं तापं पापं हर मे भगवति कुमतिकलापं त्रिभुवनसारे वसुधारे त्रिभुवनसारे वसुधारे त्वमसि गतिर्मम खलु संसारे त्रिभुवनसारे वसुधारे त्वमसि गतिर्मम वसुधारे त्वमसि गतिर्मम खलु संसारे अलगानन्दे परमानन्दे कुरु करुणामयि कातरवन्द्ये अलगानन्दे परमानन्दे कुरु करुणामयि कातरवन्द्ये तव तटनिकटे यस्य निवासः खलु वैकुण्ठे तस्य निवासः तव तटनिकटे यस्य निवासः खलु वैकुण्ठे तस्य निवासः खलु वैकुण्ठे तस्य निवासः खलु वैकुण्ठे तस्य निवासः गङ्गे मां पाहि गिरिशशिरस्थिते गङ्गे मां पाहि गिरिशशिरस्थिते गम्भीरकाये गीतवाद्यप्रिये गङ्गे मां पाहि गिरिशशिरस्थिते गम्भीरकाये गीतवाद्यप्रिये गङ्गे मां पाहि अङ्गजतातमुदे असिवरुणमध्ये अङ्गजतातमुदे असिवरुणमध्ये अङ्गजतातमुदे असिवरुणमध्ये अङ्गजतातमुदे असिवरुणमध्ये क्रूरपूजिते अखिल जनानन्दे क्रूरपूजिते अखिल जनानन्दे सकल तीर्थमूले सद्गुरुगुहशीले सकल तीर्थमूले सद्गुरुगुहशीले वरजानुपाले व्यासादि कृपाले वरजानुपाले व्यासादि कृपाले गङ्गे मां पाहि गिरिशशिरस्थिते गम्भीरकाये गीतवाद्यप्रिये गङ्गे मां पाहि मां पाहि मां
This program was that if I start talking about Kashi, I won't stop. Not because it's in my name, but because this space is such a magnetic space that you can see how it holds somebody like Muthuswami Dikshithar and Shankaracharya in such amazing ways. If you look at Kashi as we know it today, we all know that as famous as Vishwanatha is, equally famous is Annapurna. The interesting thing about Annapurna's temple, if you visit, we all consider Annapurna, and this is the idol and the form that we have, is that she is holding the patram and holding a ladle with which she feeds devotees. But if you go to the temple of Annapurna in Kashipuram, the Vigraham that you see does not have this at all. So one wonders, where is this Murti? If you see the famous Annapurna Ashtakam written by Adi Shankaracharya, Nityanandakari Varabhayakari, which ends with Bhiksham Dehi, Kripavalambanakari Mata Annapurneshwari, he also does not describe this form at all. So here is a very interesting mystery that Shankaracharya pulls out and Muthuswami Dikshitar catches on to. If you go to the temple of Annapurna, all you will see is a face of Devi. The rest of the body, it is carved onto a wall. The rest of the body is carved, the entire thing is carved, but the rest of the body is covered with a sari and with flowers. You cannot make out any form under that. Even if you are to see the Nijarupa Darshanam of Annapurna Devi, she is not standing in the way that we typically describe her. Shankaracharya knows this rahasyam, that is why in the Annapurna Ashtakam he does not describe her like this. In the Annapurna Ashtakam, he describes her as he sees her. This form carved on a wall is Mala Pustaka Pashaka Ankusha Dhari, she who is holding a Mala, Pustaka, a Pasha and an Ankusha. This is different from the Annapurna that we know. So what is the discrepancy? 3 days after Deepavali, in a small room next to this Annapurna, is the shrine of Annapurna where she appeared first. This form of Annapurna is seated exactly as we know her. She is seated and she is giving bhiksha to Shiva. This is the form that is only open for 3 days in the year in the temple of Kashi, and this is the form that Shankaracharya spoke about in a lesser known Annapurna Stuti. Now this is where we see something very beautiful. Shankaracharya draws not just from what he sees, but he pulls from so many texts that one cannot help but be amazed at his own knowledge. Somewhere in the Vishalakshi Tantram, which is one of the most obscure texts on Devi that is available, hardly available in 2 languages as of today, in the Vishalakshi Tantram we see a shlokam that says, Vame Manikya Patram. In her left hand, she has a Manikya Patram. Madhurasa Bharitam Bibhratim Pani Padme. That is filled with Madhurasa. Madhurasa Bharitam Bibhratim Pani Padme Divyai Rannai Prapurnam Karadhrita Manivalaye Dakshine Ratnadarvim. Now this is the complicated shlokam beginning that is there in the Vishalakshi Tantram. Shankaracharya takes this and simplifies it when he says, Dugdhanna Varapatra, Dugdhanna Varakanchana Darvihasta, Dugdha Anna. Holding Dugdha Anna with her blessed hands, she graces Kashipuram. Muthuswami Dikshitar takes from both of these and he says, Payasanna Purita Manikya Patra Hemadharvi Vidritakari. So you can see the flow somewhere from a very difficult to access text into Shankaracharya's realm of consciousness, into Muthuswami Dikshitar's immortal composition. These are the ways through which the glory of the goddess reaches us. It is not through texts alone, it is through living traditions. And we bow down to Annapurna, who becomes accessible to us through the eternal Annapurne Vishalakshi. Something to think about is, why does the goddess have 2 names, Annapurna and Vishalakshi? But if I tell you everything now, you won't stay till the song is over, so I'll tell you later.
Keuraharagadangada karnapure Keuraharagadangada karnapure Kanchi Kalapamanikantalasadyukule Kanchi Kalapamanikanta Kanchi Kalapamanikantalasadyukule दुग्धान्नपात्र दुग्धान्नपात्रवरकाञ्चन दर्विहस्ते दुग्धान्नपात्रवरकाञ्चन दर्विहस्ते भिक्षा प्रदेहि गुरु गिरिजे भिक्षा प्रदेहि गिरिजे गिरिजे शुद्धिताय मह्यं पायसान पूरित माणिक्यपात्र हेमदर्वी विजय करे पायसान पूरित माणिक्यपात्र हेमदर्वी विधृत करे काय जाति रक्षण निपुणतरे काञ्चनमय भूषणाम्बरधरे काय जाति रक्षण निपुणतरे काञ्चनमय भूषणाम्बरधरे तोयजासनादिसेवितभरे तोयजासनादिसेवितभरे तुम्बुरु नारदादिनुतभरे तोयजासनादिसेवितभरे तुम्बुरु नारदादिनुतभरे त्रयातीत मोक्षप्रद चतुरे त्रिपद शोभित गुरुगुणसादरे अन्नपूर्णे तोयजासनादिसेवितभरे तुम्बुरु नारदादिनुतभरे त्रयातीत मोक्षप्रद चतुरे त्रिपद शोभित गुरुगुणसादरे अन्नपूर्णे विशालाक्षि अखिल भुवन साक्षी कटाक्षि अन्नपूर्णे 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 विशालाक्षि
Annapurna and Vishalakshi. The interesting thing about these goddesses is they have two names and two different temples. The temple of Vishalakshi is different from the temple of Annapurna. If majority of you here are from South India, so you are very well acquainted with the phrase Kanchi Kamakshi, Madhura Meenakshi and Kashi Vishalakshi. Absolutely. If you look at these three goddesses, Kamakshi has her own story. The Kamakshi Vijayam and Kamakshi Tantram talks about this. Lalita has her own story, Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. But both of them are in one idol, that is in the temple of Kamakoti Peetham. If you look at Meenakshi, as the daughter of Pandya Raja, Malayadhwaja, she has her own story. As Raja Matangi, Shyamala Devi, she has her own story, but one Vigraham. You come here to Kashipuram, she has two names and two forms. In both these cases, in Kamakshi and Meenakshi, it is only one Vigraham. But in the case of Annapurna and Vishalakshi, it's two different Vigrahams. But are these the same goddess or different goddesses? Shankaracharya himself clarifies this very beautifully in one of his texts when he says that if you look at the functions of Jagannatha, one of the most beautiful and endearing functions she has is to take care of her children. And taking care of her children means looking to see which child needs how much. It is not that she has a standard ration that she just gives to every being. And I do not just mean food. Every kind of experience that one particular jiva needs, she sees. To see what they need, she makes her eyes big. So she becomes Vishala Akshi. And after seeing, she doesn't just see and then go back inside her room. After seeing, she feeds them. So Vishalakshi becomes Annapurna. That is why Muthuswami Dikshitar said Annapurna Vishalakshi. That is a huge rahasyam in terms of Shakti Aradhana, of understanding the different functions. To highlight the different functions, they have different temples, but the Shakti Swarupam, that is why we see the Sankalpam that is said in Kashi, it is Vishalakshi Annapurna Sameta Shri Kashi Vishwanatha, because they are one goddess. So this is Jagannata's Mahima that comes out through Muthuswami Dikshitar's Kriti.
This is also the reason we've taken the two ragas that we took for this shlokam, Kashi Ramakriya and
beautiful, Sama.
Yeah, Sama.
So Kashi Ramakriya referring to...
Because he has composed Vishalakshmi Vishweshim.
In the same ragam,
Yeah.
beautifully put. So from Jagannata's Karunyam, we see in Shankaracharya's works, if you've observed so far, we have been staying with the Shiva family in Kailasha. We started with Dakshinamurti, then we went on to Ganga, who is on his head, then came his Ardhangini Parvati. So how can we not speak about his son? We spoke about one son in the beginning itself, so we'll jump to the other. Shankaracharya takes a particular fondness for Subramanya. And in the Subramanya Bhujangam, if you see the Bhujangam, it's almost as if Shankaracharya is conversing with Subramanya. In one very beautiful verse, he says, he's describing a scene. And the scene is like this. And those of you who want to close your eyes and envision it, you may. There is a tree, there is a Kalpavriksham, and at the base of this huge, magnificent tree, there is a father, there is a mother, and there is a small boy. This father is watching because the baby boy is on the mother's left lap. So the father is seated, and to the left of the father is the mother, and on the mother's left lap, which is the extreme left, which is probably where Vivek's lap is, that's where this little boy is. So this father looks at that little boy, and he wants him. He wants to hold him because that boy is Koti Manmatha Vigraha. He's like a Koti Manmathas put together. He's so good looking. So this father extends his hands, and he says, Ihaya hi vatseti hastan prasarya, vayatyadara shankare maturankat. Shankara, that is Parama Shankara in Kailasa, extends his hands and he says, come. So the boy looks at his mother and he says, can I go? Very reluctantly, the mother moves him from one lap. She doesn't give him to the father because she also doesn't want to leave him because he's so good looking. So she moves him from that lap to this lap. And then this boy is placed exactly here. Hoyatyadarat Shankare Maturankat Samutpatyatatam Shrayantam Kumaram Haraslishta Gatram Bhaje Balamurtim. This is what Shankaracharya says. Now if you see this Murti, what you are seeing is, up till now, there was Adi Shankara or Paramashankara, and there is Parvati, and there is Kumaraswamy. When Kumaraswamy moved over here in the center, you see a beautiful formation where Shiva is now seated along with Uma Devi and with Skanda. What I took this long to explain, Muthuswami Dikshitar put it into one word. Sa Uma, along with Uma and Skanda. Sa Uma Skanda Soma Skanda. This is Soma Skanda Murti, which is one of the most important Murtis in Shaiva Aradhanam. You go to any Shivalayam in Dakshina Bharatam, in the southern parts of India, Soma Skanda Murti will always be there because that Murti is considered the complete manifestation of the Shiva Kutumbam. This is exactly what Muthuswami Dikshitar saw in Kanchipuram, where he said, Chintayama Kandamula Kandam. There Adi Shankaracharya saw it in Kailasham. And if we wonder how can we go to Kailasham, we cannot see what is in Kailasham. There is absolutely no worry. We can easily see it in Kanchipuram. Chintayama Kandamula Kandam. Kandamulam is at the base of the tree. Cheta Shri Somaskandam. So paying homage to that beautiful Murti of Sa, Uma and Skanda.
Chintaya
The dhyanam of various devatas has various prayojanas. So doing dhyanam, even briefly, if we are able to see Shiva, Parvati and Skanda seated together, it is said that in a home where Soma Skanda is thought of, there are no familial arguments. So that is why Shankaracharya brings out this mantra murti without using the word Soma Skanda, but he puts it into shlokam. So you can see lots of chamatkaras that Shankaracharya does, which Muthuswami Dikshitar catches on to. But we move from there into a katha, into a story that is associated with Shankaracharya, which Muthuswami Dikshitar records. Now in this story, in a small little village in Tamil Nadu, with all her 18 hands, the goddess resides. And with her Ashtadasa Bhujas, the goddess is extremely fierce. Now if we look at different Devata Murtis, it's important to understand what these words mean. Any Devata has three kinds of Murtis: Ugra Murti, Yoga Murti and Bhoga Murti. Ugra is the fierce form of that goddess or that god. Yoga is the meditative form of that god. And Bhoga is the form that gives blessings. In this particular Kshetram, Devi with her Ashtadasha Bhujas, she stays back after Rakshasa Samharam, she stays back in this place. Now she chooses to stay back, but the bhaktas who stay here, they are not able to take this intensity. And they try to go and worship her, but they're not able to, because they can't take that energy. So they go, but that energy pushes them back. This goes on, day after day. Nobody is able to stand in front of her. Her eyes are piercing me, one bhakta says. Another says, she's hurting, I can't take that energy. So the bhaktas remain fearful of this Ugra Swarupam of Devi. And as it happens, Shankaracharya visits this kshetram. And then the bhaktas tell him that we cannot stand in front of her. She's so fierce. What do we do? So Shankaracharya thinks about it and he says, okay, let me figure out a way to convert all of this Ugram that she has. It is a massive upsurge of energy. Let me take this energy and let me capture it. So what Shankaracharya does is, he gets 2 earrings made. On these 2 earrings, he has the Sri Chakram carved. The Sri Chakram, as many of you would be knowing, is the diagrammatic, it is the geometrical representation of Devi's residence. And in this residence, which he gets carved on 2 earrings, he said, all of the Ugratvam will be absolutely absorbed. So he places these earrings, these Sri Chakra Tatankas, as they are called. Tatanka is the name given to a earring that is worn by a female. So he places the Sri Chakra Tatankas on this Devi. And Shankaracharya is quite convinced that the problem is going to be solved. Is the problem solved or not? I can't tell you just yet. But Muthuswami Dikshitar records this exact incident when he sings of Devi and he says that she is the one who is seated on the left lap of Shiva. She is the one who is wearing the Sri Chakra Tatankas. That is an absolute reference to this particular episode. Shankaracharya leaves the village, convinced that the problem has come to an end. But a few days later, he finds that some of the villagers have come after him, and he says, "What happened?" And they said, "It has reduced her energy maybe by 1%, but we are still not able to stand. The Sri Chakra Tatankas have done their part, but we are still not able to stand in front of her." Now this puzzled Shankaracharya, because the Sri Chakra Tatankas are not an ordinary phenomenon. There's a whole science behind why this particular idea, what does it do, what is its power. This mantram, this tantram, this yantram, all of this, he applied his cerebral logic to control and to convert Devi's energy from very fierce into very gentle, but it did not work. So he comes back to this kshetram and he thinks about it and he says, how can I convert something that is very fierce, a very fierce energy, a necessary fierce, yes, but it's very fierce. How do I convert it into something that is very gentle? And then he strikes upon an idea and says, if I invoke her matrubhavam, all of that ugratvam will convert itself into saumyatvam. So where mantram, tantram, yantram, japam and all of these do not work, Shankaracharya does one phenomenal act. He says, straight in the line, in the cone of vision of this goddess, where she is standing, have a huge Ganapati made, a vigraham of Ganapati. Let her look at her son, because as soon as the doors of the temple are open, she will look first at her son, behind the Dhvajastambham. So, if she's looking at her son, where is the question of being angry anymore? So all that ugratvam got converted just by the insertion of one Ganapati. This Ganapati incidentally is called Prasanna Ganapati because he makes his mother very happy. And this goddess as many of you would have guessed already, is none other than Akhilandeshwari. This is the temple of Akhilandeshwari in Tiruvannaikaval, and you will see Prasanna Ganapati over there. That Prasanna Ganapati is established by Adi Shankaracharya. So, when you take this beautiful idea into being, Muthuswami Dikshitar also is inspired by this, because he said Akhilanda Nayike and he just hinted in the previous composition that he's talking about Akhilandeshwari. But in a much more direct composition, he not only celebrates Akhilandeshwari, but says something so beautiful. He says, Lambodara Guruguha Pujite. That Lambodara Guruguha is a reminder that, Amma, as long as your children are with you, I don't have anything to fear about your Ugratvam. You will always look at me as a child only. So we present to you a snippet from Akhilandeshwari.
See
Patra Vatsalyam. That is one of the iconic ways in which Shankaracharya looked at Devi, that he saw the compassion that she has, not just for her child Ganapati, but for every living being, because she is Jagannatha. And that comes to the fore with one of the most iconic stories that we have associated with him, when he invokes the mother. This story, many of us know, but I want to bring out some lesser known aspects of the story. The story happens when Shankaracharya is going for bhiksha as a young boy, and he turns up at an old woman's house. We all know this story, but I want to focus on some beautiful aspects here. This old woman is about to break her Ekadashi Vratam. It is Dwadashi morning. She has to eat something. The only thing that she has is one gooseberry, one amla. And she says, I'll give it to him because he has come for bhiksha and you should not decline when somebody comes for bhiksha. So he sees this, and a Bala Shankara of a few years, we don't know how old he is when he's written Kanakadhara Stotram, but he sees her and he feels bad and he thinks, for all that she's giving me right now, is it not possible for Jagannatha to bless her? So then, in that inspired moment, he immediately writes a composition addressing Lakshmi. We all know this, and we quickly move to the finale of this, which is that as soon as this stotram is read, golden gooseberries fall down. So we will also read the Kanakadhara Stotram with the hope that in my house, golden gooseberries will fall. As far as I know, that has not happened, but this is where we miss out on Adhyatmikam. The objective of this story is not golden gooseberries. The objective of this story is to understand the conversation that happens between Lakshmi and Shankara. As soon as he reads out the Kanakadhara Stavam, Kanakadhara itself is indicating a downpour of wealth. And the Kanakadhara Stotram is so moving that Lakshmi arrives, and she can, the old woman who is giving Shankara Bhiksha cannot see her. Only Shankaracharya can see her. And Shankaracharya immediately asks her, saying, Amma, you know why I have called you. I have called you simply because I cannot bear to see her poverty. Please bless her. Lakshmi can just say yes and leave, but she doesn't. So she says, Shankara, how can I bless her? You want me to give her Sampada, Aishwarya. I cannot give her Aishwarya. She has not done any good karmas in this life or the previous life. On what basis can I just give her? Just because you are asking? And he says, no, Amma, not because I am asking. That one phalam that she took, whatever she had, she was ready to give it to somebody who came to her door, and she did not mind losing her entire punyam of following Ekadashi because she did not want somebody to leave hungry from her door. For that one phalam, for that one act, whatever is the appropriate phalam, you see and you give. Lakshmi is so moved that she says, for this, I will send an endless Kanakadhara. That is why Kanakadhara is as powerful as it is. So this is the beginning or the actual way to understand the Kanakadhara Stotram. There are many phenomenal aspects associated with this stotram. One would think typically that a stotram that somebody writes when one is younger is less mature, it is more juvenile, it is more cute. But you take the starting of the Kanakadhara Stotram, which he wrote when he was maybe 5 or 8, and you take the Saundaryalahari, which he wrote when he was much later, the starting verses are reflecting the same idea. Angam harehe pulakabhushanam ashrayanti, he says over here. Angam harehe. He talks about Lakshmi and Vishnu in the first words. And when he writes in the Saundaryalahari, he says Shiva Shaktya Yukto. Here it is Lakshmi Narayana, there it is Parvati Parameshwara. Same bhava, not a coincidence. That is Adi Shankaracharya's genius. So, within the Kanakadhara Stotram as well, there are various ideas that can be explored. But Muthuswami Dikshitar caught on to the magic of Kanakadhara Stotram, and this is the reason that we chose Shankara Guruguham, because the direct words that Shankaracharya uses are reflecting in Muthuswami Dikshitar's composition. Shankaracharya says, Kalam Pudari Lalitorasi Kaitabhare Dharadhare Spurataya Tadidanganeva Matu Samasta Jagatam Mahaniya Murti Bhadrani Me Dishatu Bhargava Nandanaya. Look towards me with care, Bhadrani Me Dishatu, O daughter of Bhargava Muni. Bhadrani Me Dishatu Bhargava Nandanaya. What is Muthuswami Dikshitar's iconic composition on Mahalakshmi? Shri Bhargavi Bhadram Me Dishatu. The same words that Shankaracharya took, Muthuswami Dikshitar just took it and flipped it. And that is why this composition in Mangala Kaishiki of his is a very, very special one, because the rahasyams of the Kanakadhara Stotram are hidden in here. I will give you one more rahasyam from here. Shankaracharya speaks in the Kanakadhara Stotram of different swarupams of Lakshmi, and one amongst them is a very, very important form of Lakshmi. This is Lakshmi who has to be viewed every morning. It is said, those who wake up at Pratak Kalam, and they do dhyanam of Lakshmi who has 8 elephants around her, and all the 8 elephants are pouring water on her. Dighastibik kanaka kumbhamukavasrishtas svarvahinim vimalacharu jalaplutangim pratar namami jagatam jananim. Those who pray to the goddess like this, in their house and in their body, there will never be any kind of unnecessary heat. This is why you see atop homes, you will have Gajalakshmi. This is why in temples you have Gajalakshmi. When it comes to iconography, only 2 are depicted because most of it is 2D. But actually it is 8 elephants. Muthuswami Dikshithar talks about this episode in this Kriti. This is not only, it's of course not a coincidence, but all of the Kanakadhara's Rahasyams reflect in this composition. So therefore it was fitting that it became our main offering for this evening. So we will take you through this magnum opus composition of Muthuswami Dikshithar. And many of you are very curiously staring at the board over there for guessing that some art is going to come up. But the art is going to be inspired by the music, just as Muthuswami Dikshithar is inspired by what Shankaracharya had to say. The art that will come from there will be inspired by the music that comes from here. So we take you through this journey of Bhargavi and her Putra Vatsalyam for Adi Shankaracharya and Muthuswami Dikshithar.
कालाम्बुदालिललितोरसि कैटभारे कालाम्बुदालिललितोरसि कैटभारे धाराधरे 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 स्फुरतिया धाराधरे स्फुरतिया तडिदङ्गने मातु समस्त जगता मातु समस्त जगता मातु समस्त जगता महनीय मूर्तिः भद्राणि मे दिशतु भद्राणि मे दिशतु भार्गवनन्दनाय भद्राणि मे दिशतु भार्गवनन्दनाय भार्गवनन्दनाय श्री भार्गवी भद्रं मे दिशतु श्री भार्गवी भद्रं मे दिशतु श्री भार्गवी
दिशतु
महालक्ष्मी सदा विहरतु समजगे मकुम्भ स्नापिता विजयतु सदनमध्ये महालक्ष्मी. सदा विहरतु विजयतु सदनमध्ये महालक्ष्मी सदा विहरतु सदनमध्ये महालक्ष्मी सदा विहरतु सदनमध्ये महालक्ष्मी.
Magari sa sa re ga ma pa ba 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 ga re sa re ga ma pa da ba sa ni da ba pa ma ma ga re sa da na ma de pa ma ba da da ba
da da ba ma ba ba ma ga ma ba da da ba ma pa da ba sa ni da ba ma ba ma ga ri sa da na ma de. Sari ma ga da ba sa, sari ma ga da ba sa, sa ni da ba ma ri. Sari ma ga da ba sa, sa ni da ba ma ga ri. Sa ni sa da na ma de. Da da ba ma 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 ba ba ma ga. Ga ma ba ma 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 da da ba ba ma ga ma ba ba ma ga ba ma ga ri sa ni ri ga ma ga ri sa da da ri ri ga ga ma da ba ba ma ga ri sa sa ri ga ma ma. Da da ba ba sa ni da ba ma ga ri sa ri ga ma ga sa ri ga ma ma. Ma ba da ba ma ga ri sa ri ga ma. Da ba sa ni da ba ma ga ri ga ma. Ri sa ni da ba ma ga ri ma. Ma ga ri sa ma ga ma. Ma ga ba ma. Ma ga da ba ma. Ri ga ba ma. Sa ri ga ba ma. Sa ni da ba ma. Ga ri ga ga ma. Da ba ba ma 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 ba ba ma 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 da da ba ma ga. Ba ma ga ri da da. Ba ma ga ri sa da da ri 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 da da ri ri da da ri ri. Sa ri ba ma ga ri sa ri ga ma ga ri ga ma pa pa da da ba sa ni da ba ma da ba sa da 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 ri sa ri ga ma ga ri sa. Sa ma ga ri sa ri ga ma ga ri sa ri ba ma ga ri sa ni sa ma ga ri ri sa ni ni da da ba ma ba da sa ri sa ni da ni sa ni ga ri sa ni sa ni da ni sa ni da ba da ka ri sa ni da ba sa ni da ba ma ga ma ba da ba sa ni da ba da ga ri sa ga ma ba da ba ma ba da sa ni da ga ri sa ni da ba ma ba ga ri sa ni sa ka ri sa ni da ba da ba ma ga ri sa da na ma de Mahalakshmi. मध्ये महालक्ष्मी सदा विहरतु सामजहे मकुम्भ स्नापिता विजयतु पदनयनाननकरनलिनी पदनयनाननकरनलिनी परमपुरुष हरि प्रणयिनि पदनयनाननकरनलिनी परमपुरुष हरि प्रणयिनि वदन कमल गुरुगुहधरणि वरनुतरङ्गनाथ रमणी श्री भार्गवी पदनयनाननकरनलिनि परमपुरुष हरि प्रणयिनि वदन कमल गुरुगुह जननी वरनुतरङ्गनाथ रमणी श्री भार्गवी भद्रं मे दिशतु
When we said extempore, we truly meant it, because when some of the words, the word Hari came there, because I know of Shankaracharya's fondness for what we call Samayachara, where he calls Devi, either the first word before that or the word after he calls Devi will always have her husband's name. This is called Samayacharam, when you view Purusha and Prakriti together. So when I was making the painting, I was wondering, why is Vishnu not here? And I put the words Hari in, completely forgetting that the Kriti itself has the words Parama Purusha Hari Pranayini. So I feel like a divine design dictated this entire, whatever you saw. And this Swarupam that you see in the painting and that you heard through the music is one of the most important aspects of Lakshmi Dhyanam, because here, this is the first time that Mahalakshmi gave darshanam to Indra and the other devatas. This is during Samudra Manthanam. In Samudra Manthanam, everybody was waiting for Amritam. But prior to Amritam, Lakshmi came. And when Lakshmi came, the Rakshasas were not interested, so they went aside. But Indra recognizes that this is Jagannatha, and he immediately has a simhasana made for her, and he asks her to sit. In all this, her eyes are closed. She comes and she sits, and Indra sends all the devatas there saying, bring all the samudra jalas from every jalam, from every samudram, bring water, fill it in a golden casket and bring it in a golden kalasham. And then he calls the Ashtadik Gajas, the 8 elephants that hold up the 8 directions, and he says, come and do an Abhishekam to her, because she is the one who is holding up Bhumi. So as they do this Abhishekam to her, Lakshmi is completely drenched. This is what Sri Suktam talks about. Ardram Pushkarinim Pushtim Pingalam Padmamalinim. Ardram means to be drenched. And in all this, Lakshmi's eyes are still closed. So after Indra does his puja, Lakshmi looks around, and one of her attendants brings her a mala, a Padma mala. That's why I've depicted the Padmas over there. Because her eyes are still not focused on anybody at all, much like my eyes, which are trying to focus on you in this dark. And when she's looking around, she's only looking for one person. Indra and all the other devatas are seeing, who is she going to place this mala on? And she looks, and very beautifully, in a Telugu padyam it is said, the 2 aksharas steal her heart. Those 2 aksharas are Ha and Ri, Hari. So she places this mala on Vishnu's Vakshasthalam, on Vishnu, and she becomes a part of Vishnu's Vakshasthalam. That is why she is Parama Purusha Hari Pranayini. This and multiple aspects of Lakshmi Upasana are hidden in the Kanakadhara Stotram. They are hidden in other compositions of Muthuswami Dikshitar, which can form an entire program in itself. But keeping the opacity of time in mind, we move on from Sri Bhargavi into another beautiful aspect of Adi Shankaracharya and Muthuswami Dikshitar's fondness. So one is bringing out mantra devatas, bringing out rahasyas as you saw. But another is absolute fondness for certain devatas. Shankaracharya, when he was growing up in Kaladi, if you visit Kaladi till date, which is where he was born, you will see very close to his house, there is a Krishna temple. That is the same Krishna that Shankaracharya used to worship when he was growing up. And a popular story is told that when his parents had to go away for a few days, they asked him to take care of Krishna's upacharas. And Shankaracharya by then had been familiar with how to do this. So he went and he placed the food in front of Krishna. And he used to think when his father went to do upachara for Krishna that every day his father would go, place the food there, Krishna would eat, and then his father would bring the food back. So he went with this innocence that Krishna would eat, except that Krishna did not eat. There is an idol and there is food there. Shankaracharya sat for so long. And then he started crying. And you see the story happening with multiple bhaktas, that when a bhakta cries, Paramatma will not take it. So Krishna appears there, Balakrishna appears there, and he says, why are you crying? So Shankara says, I'm crying because you didn't eat the food. And then Krishna says, okay, I will accept it. Normally this is not my protocol, but I will accept it. And Krishna takes the entire plate that Shankaracharya has brought and eats it. Shankaracharya continues to cry. This is a Bala Shankaracharya. Krishna says, now what is the problem? He said, nothing. My father used to at least bring back something home. You've eaten everything. What is there for me to eat now? So his fondness for Krishna begins over here. And you see Shankaracharya's works. No matter wherever he speaks about Vishnu and other forms of Narayana, he always uses the words Murari. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare, pahi murare. Murari is Krishna's name, the one who killed Murasura. Everywhere where he has to talk about Narayana, he puts in the word Murari, because he's so fond of Krishna. And this fondness is also because Shankaracharya sees Krishna and Krishna's feminine counterpart Kali. He sees them in the same light. To be in Kolkata and to not talk of the goddess is impossible. Also, the goddess's favorite bhakta is watching us from that corner of the auditorium, which I noticed when we were seated here, that Paramahamsa, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's picture is there. That is why if you observed when Vivek was singing about Bhiksham Pradehi Girije, he inadvertently said Bhiksham Pradehi Guru. I felt like that was Ramakrishna Paramahamsa talking through this. So in all this, in this fondness for Krishna, Shankaracharya saw Devi. And he calls Krishna as Saundarya Rajam, the one who is the king of beauty. But he also calls Devi as Tripura Sundari. So we present to you two compositions of Muthuswami Dikshitar which combine the essence of understanding that Krishna and Devi Tattvam is identical. If you look at both of them are what color? Blue in color. Look at the oceans. The oceans are all blue, but are they truly blue? They're not. They appear to be blue because of the depth. Shankaracharya said, my Krishna and my Kali are like that. They're so deep in their characters that they just pull you in and they give you the illusion of something else, but they truly have no color. So we present to you just a little bit, so much can be said about Krishna Tattvam and Kali Tattvam, but we bring to you two special compositions for a certain reason that I'll explain after.
Good.
Shankari Tripura Sundari Shankari Guruguha Janani Mamava Tripura Sundari Shankari Guruguha Janani Mamava Tripura Sundari Shankari Guruguha Janani Mamava Tripura Sundari Shankari.
This exploration can take so many different directions, but I think it would be incomplete to talk about Muthuswami Dikshitar without at least touching upon one phenomenal idea that he left us with, which is worshipping the goddess who lives in 9 enclosures, the Navavarnams, through one of the Kritis. And this entire school of Sri Vidya Upasana is there in his compositions. For those who wonder, how do I do Sri Chakra Aradhana? Should I have Sri Chakra at home? Can I not? How do I do it? All these complications can be put on one side, and singing or listening to his Kritis will have the same effect as doing Sri Vidya Upasana. So we present to you one of the Navavarnams, which is inspired by how Adi Shankaracharya viewed Kamakshi. For Adi Shankaracharya, Kamakshi is seated in the center, with on either side of her, Lakshmi and Saraswati are the ones who are fanning her. Now, if you look at this form, it might suggest that, oh, so Parvati is greater than equal to Lakshmi or Saraswati. The bhavam here is that Parvati or Kamakshi here is representing Kriya Shakti, the action that is necessary for anything to take form. On either side of Kriya Shakti is Ichha Shakti and Jnana Shakti. Jnana Shakti is Saraswati, Ichha Shakti is Lakshmi. So together, Ichha, Jnana and Kriya are the ones that we are worshipping whenever we see Devi. Wherever we see Shakti, she is always with Ichha, Jnana and Kriya together. Muthuswami Dikshitar explained this in 2 simple words. Kamala Vani Sevita Parshva. Kamala, who is Lakshmi, and Vani, who is Saraswati, are worshipping her, are serving her with a fan. So we present that little excerpt from Kamalambam Bhajare before we conclude this evening.
Kamalavani
When we talk of Adi Shankaracharya's contributions to Sanatana Dharma, it is important to understand that he came at a time when there was so much of confusion, so many different things happening within the organized religion of Hinduism. Outside, intra and inter, there was so much of confusion that Shankaracharya came and he cleared the dust and he said, there are 6 ways of attaining Paramatma. There are 6 forms of Paramatma that are the absolute Paramatma, the supreme truth that are manifest. Those 6 forms are called Shan Matas. You fall into any of these matas or all of these matas, all of them will take you to that ultimate idea of Paramatma. Those 6 matas, those 6 forms are Ganapati, then Shakti, then Kumaraswamy, then Vishnu, then Shiva, and finally Surya. These are called Shanmatas. Shanmatas exist in the Vedas as well. Shankaracharya brought that out and said, worship all of these. Don't say, I'll only worship one. You can be in one system, all the others will come. This is the idea of how, if you are sharing a story about Devi, suddenly Vishnu will have a role, Shiva will have a role. It brings together all the Shanmatas. And Shankaracharya is credited with the title of Shanmata Sthapanacharya, the one who reinstated Shanmatas and made it clearer for us as to what is the easiest ways to approach Paramatma. And we took that idea of Shanmatas and we see how beautifully Muthuswami Dikshitar has also spoken about all of the Shanmatas. Of course, he has credit to have written compositions on several deities. But we take a few excerpts from each of the Shanmatas, beginning with Surya and concluding with Mahatripura Sundari. And as we take you through them, we encourage you to pay attention to the lyrics, because the lyrics that Dikshitar uses are influenced by Nigama and Agama, which is Veda Shastram and Tantra Shastram, both of which Shankaracharya acknowledged and celebrated and put them back in their. So with that final homage to the Shanmatas, to the Shanmata Sthapanacharya, and to Nadajyoti Muthuswami Dikshitar, we bring this evening to a gradual close.
In this piece, we have put together 6 Madhyamakala Sahityams of Muthuswami Dikshitar. We'd encourage you to try to guess which songs they are as we lead into them.
we chose to address in the Shanmatas Narasimha, because Narasimha is the one that Shankaracharya addressed the Karavalamba Stotram, Lakshmi Nrusimha Mamadehi Karavalamba.
Purahara Nagadara Sarasi Jakara Purahara Nagadara Sarasi Jakar Parama Purusha Pavana Jashubhagara Purahara Nagadara Sarasi Jakar Parama Purusha Pavana Jashubhagara Suruchira Kari Giri Bharata Vijaya Sarasa Guruguha Hridaya Sahajara Narashyama Gacha Narasyama Brahma Ucha Svecha Swacha Narasyama Gaja. संरक्षण चरणों दीन जन संरक्षण चरणं दिव्य पतंजलि व्याघ्रपाद दर्शित गुंजिताब्द चरणं दीन जन संरक्षण चरणं दिव्य पतंजलि व्याघ्रपाद दर्शित गुंजिताब्द चरणं पाणिनि सदग गण दग मग मम बसनि गजं तरि प मग ददिगिण गजं तरि प मग ददिगिण गजं तरि प मग ददिगिण तुमानन्द नडन प्रकाशं चित्सवेशं आश्रयामि
Ladies and gentlemen, the claps should not stop at all for all these artists. Non-stop applause, please, for Sri Vivek Sadasivam, Sri Vinay Varanasi, Vaibhav Ramani, Adamya Ramanand, and Achyut Bora. We heard some mesmerizing vocals, outstanding storytelling, spellbinding art, brilliant instrumentation. Adi Shankaracharya and Muthuswami Dikshita celebrated from the Adi to the Antam of this program. Thank you very much. That was Shankara Guruguham. Witnessing this magic along with us is Pandit Debashish Bhattacharya, guitar maestro and someone who redefined the Indian classical scene with slide guitar and the creator of Pushpa Veena. We would like to honor him. We would request Sri Atul Jairaj to please felicitate Sri Debashish Bhattacharya ji. Thank you very much, dear audience. This is we are coming to the conclusion of our two-day event, the double bonanza that we had promised. Sri Guruguha Gana Vidyalaya, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, and Accolade Studios jointly presented the 248th Dikshidhar Jayanti 2023, a grand two-day music festival celebrating the Vidyalaya's 80th year, organized by Guruguha Sangeeth Sammelan, co-powered by State Bank of India, radio partner 91.9 Friends FM. You can watch glimpses of these performances shortly on the Vidyalaya's YouTube channel and Facebook page shortly. So do subscribe to them. And thank you very much. Thanks to the Vidyalaya and Sammelan for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this program. And you've been a lovely audience. Thank you. Good night.
And I'd also like to once again thank everybody here. Thanks to the organization and all of you involved in having us. Thanks on behalf of everybody on stage. For me, of course, this is my second home, so it feels really, really special to come and perform on such occasions, on such landmark occasions of the Vidyalaya and the Sammelan. So thank you all for coming in such big numbers and encouraging us. Thank you.